Good evening. Welcome along to another episode of Tannadice Tales from Dundee United. Thank you to everyone who's waiting along because we've got more Champions League action tonight. More importantly, we'll have a chat, we'll have a bit of fun as always. But we've got the likes of Barcelona and Lazio and then 3 potential banana skins at home in the SPL. So a run that's going to be really important to our season. One of the old firm sides, Celtic, really starting to slip up now, last season's champions. And an opportunity for us really to succeed and try and break that old firm again. If we can do that, then Touchwood will be in a good position. If we can't break the old firm's 2 successive seasons, I think we have to think about, do we need to move on? Is this the right place for us? But for now, we're still very much focused. El Gaming, good evening, welcome along. Thank you to everyone for the thumbs up who was already waiting. If you haven't yet, please do chuck one on. Liam, good evening. Leon, sorry, good evening. Another one of the regulars. Thank you for popping in. I hope you're well as well. Lovely to have a few of the regulars waiting in already. Jake's here as well. Good evening. Hope you're getting on well. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting the streams here and over on Twitch as well. We had a record stream on Twitch on Sunday, which was incredible. So thank you for the support with that. There will, very early on, be a bonus one tomorrow evening as well at the same time, 5:30. So something to look forward to there too. And then I'm back to playing football on Thursday, so I could be completely ruined by the weekend. A very quick service announcement as well for anyone who's watching this on replay or live. I don't think there will be a live stream, and if there is, it'll be a very short one on Saturday morning, just because it's my other half's birthday and it's my birthday weekend. So we'll probably have that one day off, and then we'll come back on Sunday as normal. El Gaming Premier League. Yes, you got promoted, didn't you, in your save, your FM save. Playoff final. You've got to love it when you go up in the playoffs. It's all the more rewarding. Let's go and have a look at the schedule, because we've played 2 games off camera. We played Rangers and we played Ayr United. In fact, we might have played Rangers on camera, did we? I can't quite remember, but we lost 1-0 either way. And then after the international break, we got a 4-0 win away from home at Ayr United. A Scott Mitchell hat-trick finished off with a penalty, and Nico Serrano got a goal too. John Stones is out with a broken collarbone for a Barcelona side littered with talent, and we're going to be able to get into this and hopefully just keep the score down a bit, I guess. Jake, how have you been finding the football? We only have 1 session back and it took probably 3 days to recover. I haven't been particularly healthy or whatever since, so I'm imagining I'll be the same this week. But it's just nice to be doing something again, speaking to people and having an evening of exercise. Being outside's nice. El Gaming, so we all understand with happy birthdays in advance. Absolutely. So it's my other half's on Saturday itself, so I probably won't get away with it. And then mine's the Friday after. But we normally make the bank holiday weekend just sort of a joint weekend of doing something. I'll still do the Sunday one, because that's not a special day for either. But the Saturday one over here probably will be the one that misses out. But don't be worrying that you're going to miss out on your Saturday. I have recorded something else as well. So that will come out on Saturday instead of the live stream. So we've talked about it a bit in the Discord, but that'll be out as well. So let's go and get into the first game against Barcelona. Today it's basically about flying through the games and seeing if we can do something special. We've got a settled 11, our first team, what we're confident with, what we're happy with. It's just whether they can perform. It's just whether they can be consistent as they were once they settled in last year. And if that happens, if we can keep the strikers scoring, then perhaps we'll have a good season. But really, we're reliant on the results of Celtic and Rangers to keep us going. So thank you to everyone who's coming in. Thank you to everyone that's been supporting along, all the extra new faces who have followed here and subscribed over on YouTube too. I'm always mixing up the one I'm recording on at the moment. Thank you again to 10x Branding and to Oliver for the donations in the weekend streams, one here and one over there too. I always like to give a quick shout out to those who have supported that way too. But let's have a look at our lineup for today. We've got a big game ahead of us. And if we have a look at our 11, I think on paper, this is our strongest one. I think if you say to me, what's your 11? That's probably it. Maybe Stevie Mallon gets in. We could potentially say, when fully fit, Mallon would go in there and Lord would go in the attacking role. But Mallon's had his injury problems this year. So unfortunately, he's not got that benefit at the moment. That's the lineup though. You know it well by now. Let's go and face Barcelona on the road. Thank you to everybody coming in. Please chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. Yeah, I probably won't worry with the Saturday one, just because I don't want to come on here for like 20 minutes, half an hour, and it'd just be a waste for you guys. So I've pre-recorded an extra video. That will come out at that point. I'll just put it out at the same time. So for those of you who look forward to it, who rely on me for Saturday morning viewing, I know it's only a small base, but then the Saturday morning, there will still be a video instead. Charlie, good evening. Is the real Shankland an outside bet for the Euros for Scotland this summer, sorry? I would say yes now because they've just announced that it's going to be a 26-man squad instead of 23. UEFA have confirmed because of the pandemic and the extra demand on players. So with that, you probably take an extra striker. And if you weren't already, Shankland will be that. So I would say yes, but I've been proven wrong before. So don't take my word as gospel. But I would say yes, he should be in there as the third, if not the second striker. But what do you guys think? Who's your nation, and have you got any wildcard picks for the extra 3 spots? Charlie, good evening as well. Sorry I didn't say that. Thank you for popping in. Please do chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. Come and get in the chat as always. As this season is basically becoming make or break for us. I think if we don't get in the top 2 this season, we either find a new club or give up. Having said that, we've just taken the lead at the new camp. Matt O'Reilly, who's not had a great start to this season after flying through last one, has just scored a header to put us 1-0 up. And away to Barcelona, drop into the balanced mentality. Remarkably, we're a little bit on top, though Griezmann's got the ball there. Falls for Fabinho in the middle. Still a very good side here. Phil Foden now picks it up. And he's got a chance to run across. Finds Everton. Up towards Griezmann, cutting in off that right again. We forced him wide, which is good work. Sergi Roberto's there, covering at right back. Headed in, it's off the line. How did Ziga keep that one out? Remarkable work. Ramos puts it behind. And fingers crossed we can keep holding on because so far, this is unbelievable. The corner's headed away. Everton can't get there. O'Reilly wins it and finds Mitchell. He's 2-on-1. He's beaten the first defender. Could we make it 2 here? Mitchell into the box. Gives it away to Griezmann. He's great in front of goal, but his passing range, the rest of his game, probably not good enough at this stage. So for now, it remains just 1-0 to Dundee United. But that in itself is a pretty remarkable achievement with half an hour gone. We're going to close down Roberto and we're going to get back to this throw-in. As he picks it up from a Foden 1-2. Gets towards the byline. Chance to cross in towards Everton, who heads just over. We're surviving. This could be, and Dundee United fans might be able to correct me because I'm not an aficionado on the history, but this might be the best result in Dundee United's history. Please let me know if not. Craig, we've just talked about the 5-a-side. I'm imagining that my fitness will be equally poor as we clear one off the line. Because I haven't been any healthier the last 2 weeks. And due to work, I haven't been able to do as much exercise. So I'm imagining I'll be puffing just as much. As O'Reilly gets it left again. This is ridiculous. Into the box. And just wide by Serrano. It could have been 2. But I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. Because just to be able to play football now is a massive difference. But thank you to everybody coming in. Thank you for the support as always. Charlie, are Southend going to do the impossible? I don't think so. Let's have a look at the table. See what it's like. So, Southend 41. Grimsby has still got it in their hands. They've got the game in hand. They're only 1 point behind. They've won 2 of their last 3. So, I stick by what I said in the manager special. If anyone's going to do it, it'll be Grimsby. But it's looking unlikely, isn't it? They can only get to 49. Barrow and Scunthorpe have got a game in hand. Colchester are on 47. We thought they might drop. Whether they get put in administration, they're still looking in a little bit of a threat. That could potentially happen too. So we'll have to wait and see on that front, I guess. But a wonderful first half at the new camp here. We remarkably lead 1-0. We're going to tell the boys to keep it up. We're going to get into the second half. And touch wood, we can hold on for some form of result. Because we mentioned this when we beat Lazio. When we beat Arsenal, sorry. If we could get a result in this game and get above Lazio, then a draw against them means that we're through. Particularly to the Europa League after Christmas. Just staying in Europe. As Brooking gets down the right-hand side, gives it away, held on to it a bit too long. It falls for Azpilicueta. All the way back to his keeper. Out to Debo, the centre-half. He was a hero for us at Barcelona in the head coach last year. Final season of that save, he was one of our back two. As Ramos picks it up at left-back. Plays a 1-2 with Ziga to Mengi. McCrory plays it with him. We're not really playing out with any sort of vigour. But we are keeping it well. McCrory goes long. Longley intercepts. Of course, we've had him at Spurs in the head coach. We know he's a good defender. And it falls for Mariba, left-hand side. Looks a really big threat. He was in the first tie as well. Back to Fabinho. Chips through. It's wonderful football. But Ziga makes the save. I think the offside flag's gone up. But we survive it regardless. Excellent work. Craig Savage, BT Sport are showing non-league finals day free to air. Oh, fantastic news. Well done them as well, by the way. Hopefully the second one we can go to, lads. The 2021 ones. Fingers crossed it's towards the end of May. If all the test events keep going well, they might be able to get 25,000-30,000 in there. That would be brilliant. Charlie, what's gone wrong at Bristol Rovers? Is Joey Barton to blame? It's a hard school of thought, isn't it? You could argue every manager they've brought in has done worse than the last one. You could argue that, because factually, in terms of results, that's the case. You could say that the recruitment's the problem with the director of football, who's been a little bit shady himself. And you could argue that they sold their best striker, Johnson Clark-Harris, and tried to replace them with 3 agents from the non-league. So, what do you really expect? You're taking a punt every time, aren't you? If it doesn't work out, you're going to be in big trouble. And this season, there's no doubting that goals have been their problem. So, I don't know that any of the managers are entirely to blame. The sacking of Tisdale was ridiculous. The sacking of Garner was slightly premature. But, yeah, I think the director of football and the behind-the-scenes stuff is more to blame. As Phil Foden has put Barcelona back on terms, we are in a spot of bother there. Unfortunately, it was just too good to be true. We couldn't hold out for long enough. And it's now 1-1 on the night. But that would still be a pretty spectacular result. What we need now is Arsenal to beat Lazio so we can wrap up third. We've got a warning to close Foden down, but I'd be very surprised if we do draw this game. Fabinho finds Mariba. Brilliant play. Wonderful effort. Just over the bar. There are a lot of tired legs on this pitch. So, Dujon Sterling for Serrano. McCrory replaced by Mallon. I don't know who's better defensively out of the two. It will be Stevie Mallon, I think. Yeah, we'll leave him in a defensive deep line playmaker. And Mockery replaced by Johnston. So for now, we're just trying to cling on for a 1-1 draw. It'd be a great result. We're reliant on Arsenal to get a winner. But if we can keep in Europe after Christmas, we've done our bit. So that's all we're going to take. Let's have a look at this free kick though. It's Phil Foden stepping up. About 30 yards out. Just wide. Keeper was beaten if it went in. Thankfully, it just missed the target. Thank you to everyone who's spending your evening with me as well. Lovely to have you along this evening. Thank you for coming and joining in as always. Please do put a thumbs up if you haven't already. And come and get involved in the chat as well. It does make a big difference. I know there's not much midweek football in terms of the EFL this week, but the Snooker World Championship was hotting up today. As Sander Berger gets it in the middle. Through ball to Gabriel Barbosa. And a good save from Ziga. We're clinging on. We are clinging on by a knife edge. And Arsenal have got the lead against Lazio. Lazio are trying to cling on with 10 men. And now, a 1-1 draw becomes a spectacular result for us. So let's get them on fullbacks defensively. We're going to set everyone behind the ball. It's going to be a dirty few minutes. Matt O'Reilly will drop from attacking midfield to defensive midfield. He'll be a deep line playmaker on defend. Mallon can then go to a support duty. Sterling and Johnston will drop to wide midfield. 4-1-4-1. Very defensive. We are going to not play out of defence. We're going to time waste. We're going to be disciplined. We are going to hold our shape, slow the pace down. And we won't worry about preventing the distribution. No offside trap. Let's just drop deep. Have 2 banks of 4 with O'Reilly in between. So if we draw 1-1 and Arsenal beat Lazio, we only have to draw on the final day. As Foden heads away, O'Reilly's in that anchor. He intercepts it well. Now, don't give the ball away back there. Jasimovic to Johnston. We can nick a winner on the other hand. There might be pandemonium here. O'Reilly gives it to Mitchell. Just shoot. Just have a go, son. Oh, his passing is the worst thing I've ever seen. Scott Mitchell's passing is diabolical. And if this costs us the point, oh, I'm going to be so angry. Oh, Scott Mitchell, what is wrong with you? It's a 5-yard pass, or just run to the corner flag, something. Don't pass it straight back to them in an advanced position. What a frustrating end. We lose 2-1, we're back down to 4th place. And now we have to win on the final day to stay in Europe whatsoever. Oh, that's infuriating. I'm going to go and look at Scott Mitchell's passing attribute, because if it's anything above 4, I'll be angry. Because for 2 5-yard passes to go astray, it's got to be infuriating. All he's got to do is hold it up, go to the corner flag, anything. But now the onus is on us to beat Lazio. If we draw, it's not enough. That's probably one of the most frustrating moments, because a draw at Barcelona would have been a spectacular result. Let's have a look at Mitchell. Where is he? We know we're knocked out. It's about getting third now. It always was. Mitchell, the striker, is passing attribute 11. Are you kidding me? 11. Unbelievable. Thank you to everybody coming in. Lovely to have your support. Please chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. Come and get involved in the chat. Come and say hello. Thank you for your support on the videos the last few days as well. Particularly the second part of the experiment. Very interesting to say the least. We've got 2 more special videos. One in place of Saturday's live stream this week. And then the final part of that experiment from Wales will be on lunchtime, midday on Sunday, after the Twitch live stream with Aberdeen United. We've got a bonus one from there tomorrow as well, so loads to look forward to this week. I'm really enjoying it at the moment, so thank you for your support as always. Let's go and crack on with this little run, because we've got 3 games in a week in the Scottish Premiership, which at home, in normal circumstances, second half of the season, we'd probably expect to win. However, at the moment, because we've got to rest people for the Champions League, this game against Aberdeen and the Motherwell one, we probably won't quite be at full strength. So I'm a little bit intrigued to see what happens on that front. Thankfully though, we've got an opportunity to bounce back later in the year if needed. Jack Newman's due to expire in 6 months. I mean, he's a third choice keeper, but he's not going to get a game. So we'll keep him there for now, see what happens. Who are the best trainers this week? Let's go and have a look. I've got to worry about all those staff upgrades later in the winter as well. We'll have to do those off camera so I don't bore you to tears. Let's look for Nico Serrano, best trainer. He's really training well this year, but he's played absolutely appallingly on the most part. And that's something we'd never have accused him of last season. Now he's got a contract, he's just dipped off a little bit. So let's have a look at the Aberdeen match. I'm guessing they've not had any European football in the week. And if they haven't, that means that they're going to have a huge advantage here. So let's see. Aberdeen have... No, they were mid-table. Oh, no, they are. They're in the Europa Conference. So they played on Thursday night and lost to Bromby. They lost both of their games against them. But in the other ties, they've picked up 7 points. So they've got a crucial one against Feyenoord. And actually, we might have the better squad available for this weekend's game. It could be a big difference for us. Hopefully that helps us out. And if they're winning and they're getting through, that helps the coefficient too. So positives all round on that front. Let's go and get cracking though, because this should be a big one. We're still getting all those links with the consort. See, they're just not getting put to bed. And actually, Aberdeen being in Europe means we've got a day's less rest between the next 2. So we could say it could work out either way. Let's not try and pre-predict. Fingers crossed though, it'll be a win. It'll be an efficient performance. And Scott Mitchell, under less pressure than he was against Barcelona, will be able to pass the ball 5 yards. That's the big thing for us. Is anyone watching the World Snooker Championship as well? That's my other question for this evening. Because the quarter-final lineup is juicy and it's been brilliant today. Obviously, it's my day off work, so I've seen a bit of it. And it's been a wonderful watch. So let me know if you're watching it as well. If there's any game that you've particularly enjoyed. I don't know who we're going to make available for the reserves, because I feel like we're going to need the whole squad during the week. We will put the youngsters in there because they're least likely to be used. But none of the first team ones can be put in there for fitness, even though it's a friendly. Because we're going to need too many of them. Scott Mitchell gets player of the month in the league. He's scoring goals galore on that front. But he did cost us a draw at Barcelona, so I'm angry at him regardless. Serrano got second as well, which, considering he's had a poor start... It's a bit bizarre that he's now got second on player of the month. Thank you to everyone coming in as well. Lovely to have you here this evening. Please chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already and come and join in the chat. We will be live on Twitch tomorrow night with Aberdeen United at the same time, 5:30. And today, as we play Aberdeen, Celtic have beaten Rangers. Probably not what we wanted based on the recent results. It would have been nice for us to have been able to catch Celtic with the same games played. However... it's not the case. Bobby Duncan's up front for Aberdeen. Jake Taylor's still in there. Matty Kennedy's there. Let's see what the fitness is like. Kieran Lord, not fit. Mitchell, not fit. McCrory, not fit. So we'll have Mallon. We'll have McCann. We'll have Shankland. And then the other 3, I think, can just go on the bench. Although, to be fair, Lord isn't fit. So it will be Cannell, Dehaney. I think we can have McCrory on there still. Is there any benefit to it though, I guess? Or we'll go Watson. Do you know what? We'll just give them a proper rest. In terms of the rest of the squad, I don't think there's anything else we desperately want to do. Mokri's not had a good few games, so we'll keep an eye on him. But the rest of the squad stays the same. We've got good youngsters on the bench, good quality players to come on. But let's hope we can bounce back. Aberdeen at home after that sucker punch at the Nou Camp. And fingers crossed we haven't let all the steam out the tank. Oliver, good evening. Thank you for popping in. Massive thank you for joining along as always. A quick thank you to yourself again for the donation at the weekend. It was greatly appreciated. And fingers crossed you're all enjoying your week and you've not had too much trouble at work. If you're working, if you're at school, college, whatever, fingers crossed it's going okay for you. Let's go and get into this Aberdeen match. It is a massive one for us. We're going to tell the boys to put out a worthy display. We're going to get through the tunnel interview. And really, we've got to keep pace with the old firm here or we're going to be in a bit of trouble. As Stevie Mallon picks it up early. An all-change midfield, but can we get an early goal? Shankland up top, not really done much this season. We've been reliant on Mitchell. And he's not fit for this one. As Mallon goes up to O'Reilly, he finds Shankland. Off running him is Serrano to O'Reilly. Out to Brook in the right wing back. Could be the perfect start. Falls for O'Reilly. And just as he did at the Nou Camp, he scores from inside the box. And he's 1-0 in 30 seconds. We could not have asked for a better bounce back than that. So hopefully that's a sign of better things to come. And fingers crossed it'll be a good evening for us. And particularly with the likes of Aberdeen, that they're the ones that might catch us from below. So let's make sure it is a 3-horse race. And a win in this game would definitely do that. A quick thank you to 10 times Brandon as well for the donation at the weekend on Twitch. That did make a difference too. And thank you to all the new followers, subscribers and everything else. John, good evening. Another one of the regulars popping in. Thank you for coming along. It's lovely to have you all here. It is greatly appreciated. Particularly as everyone's back to work full time and all of that stuff now. As O'Reilly scored again. I won't lie to you, as the world's getting back to normal now. Being working full time throughout it and now having the full flow again. It is a bit of a strain. But, touchwood, if we commit to this, if we work hard and it goes well, I'll be able to start gradually dropping my hours in the other job too. Tom's still feeling that old mouth. Thanks for popping in. I didn't feel it on Sunday actually. I was alright. It was nice to actually just go out and speak to people and sit in an outdoor area and do something. It was lovely. So, yeah, lovely time. I hope you're all keeping well. And then St Johnstone beat Rangers on penalties with Ali McCann, one of my midfielders here, being a hero. So, lots of irony there. I've got Sander Clark as my sub-keeper too. I'm sure it's Greeny's favourite person. As Mallon gets it back to McCann, into O'Reilly, on a hat-trick. Oh, he's just brought down in the nick of time. Kennedy gets it away to Bobby Duncan. He's running up on his own. Of course, we had Duncan at Torquay in FM19. Bit of a hero for us. Sinclair into the box though. Very, very greedy, but we get away with it. Thank you to everyone coming in as well. Lovely to have so many of the regulars here. I hope you're all having a good week. Of course, let me know down in the chat what your plans are, whether your team are playing this midweek, and what you've got to look forward to. I know for Tom it will be Europa League football, won't it? Arsenal semi-final. But for the rest of us, not much EFL action this week. Luton next week have got the last midweek game of the season because of Rotherham's delayed fixtures. But here we're just about keeping pace. As Stevie Mallon's got a free kick on the left. In towards Serrano. Just over the bar. Could have been 3. Could have been game over. But again, he's having a poor match. As Christensen gets it at the back. Long ball forward. Jasimovic wins it. Those youngsters now starting to learn the language. Starting to improve. And maybe, if we can break the top 2, we'll really be able to take strides next year. And maybe go for a title next season. If not, I'll be looking for a new job. As Shankland lays it off to Serrano. He's got Mallon with him. He chips it up to O'Reilly. Mallon won't do the 90 today, of course, because he's just back from injury. Here's Chris Mokri into Shankland. Blocked at the front post. Only away as far as Ali McCann. St Johnstone hero at the weekend. Dundee United star at the moment. And we keep possession well. It peters out, but 10 minutes gone in the second half. And it's a comfortable 2-0 lead so far. Wapos, good evening. Another one of the regulars. Thank you for popping in. Tom, Emerick Laporte's my new favourite person. I mean, the stat of Mourinho being the only person stopped Guardiola winning a final and getting sacked 6 days before just because they wanted to detract from the Super League statement, which then nothing happened from. I mean, you couldn't write it, really. It was all a bit Daniel Levy, to be honest. Which is a shame, because Tottenham would have had a chance otherwise. I'm going to take Mokri and O'Reilly off, because they're both absolutely shattered, and we need to protect these kids. So, Mikey Johnston on, Jordan Holsgrove on, and who's a centre mid? Luca Cannell. He doesn't get to play in Europe, so he can come on as well. 3 changes made, 2-0 uncomfortable. Let's hope it stays that way. Thank you for the regulars joining in. Please chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. Lovely to have you all here as always. For those who have just joined in, a quick announcement to say that we will have a bonus stream on Twitch tomorrow at 5:30 as Mikey Johnston off the bench grabs a third. And then on Saturday morning here, we won't have a live stream on YouTube. So it's my other half's birthday and my birthday weekend. We always do something the bank holiday one. But I've got a video coming out at 10:30 instead. Something completely different. But we've talked about it a bit in the Discord. And still something for you to enjoy that morning if you're looking for something. So hopefully you'll all enjoy that. We've got the final part of the Welsh experiment this Sunday at midday as well. And thankfully, we've got a comfortable 3 points against Aberdeen today. A brilliant performance, a brilliant result. And to be fair, the performance at Barcelona was great too. It was just that last minute mistake. And it only takes one to be punished against one of those clubs. But a comfortable win. Let's try and get back onto it. We've got 3 big games in 6 days here. And we've got to try and keep the fitness flowing. Mengi might have to have a rest in one of them. I don't know which one's best because Hamilton have got 2 brilliant strikers. Motherwell, not quite so strong, but still got the quality overall. Let's get Mengi a rest for 2 days. Hopefully he'll be alright then. Why would O'Reilly go to Toronto? We're in the Champions League playing Barcelona and competing, by the way. He scored there. He scored 2 here. I don't know why he'd want to go. It seems a little bit bizarre to me. He is still improving, to be fair to him. Physically a little bit off, but the rest of his game's still getting better. And he's still got more potential to grow into. Ian, happy birthday. Thank you for next week. Much appreciated. So it's my other half's on Saturday, and it's mine the Friday after, but we always do it for the bank holiday weekend. So thank you for the kind words. Lovely to see a new face in with the regulars in the chat. Thank you for coming along. Thank you for supporting as always. And thank you for everyone watching all the videos still. I had a look actually earlier today because it was my day off and it was really interesting. This time last year, the episodes on my channel, they weren't as good, let's put it that way, but they were averaging 35 views after the first day. And at the moment, if we haven't got 150, 200, it looks like a disaster. So the fact that that level of growth is there and the consistent support, it really does mean a lot to me. I've said before, I'm really trying to make this part of my job moving forward. I'd love to do it in the future. Between here, the podcast, and the upcoming food channel, I'd love that to be part of my job. And fingers crossed we can get there in the long term. But thank you for the incredible support. Thank you for popping along as always. And I really do love having these few hours a week here and on Twitch, just chatting football nonsense. It's nice to have, to take the mind off the serious stuff. So, we're being told to look for a replacement for Ziga. I don't think that's right. Centre forward for Shanklands, yes, because he's a backup who's not scoring and he's about 30. Holsgrove, I'm not sure. Right winger, definitely not. But let's see what he suggested. So, goalkeepers. There's a 20-year-old Dutchman at Vitesse who's not really any better. This was the problem last time. The scouts were picking up really good goalkeepers like Ziga, and then their attributes and their star rating was really dropping off when the coaches got their hands on them at the club. But Ziga's been so dependable, so solid, and we've barely let in a goal since he's joined, so I'm not going to worry about him. Striker, we might be willing to consider. We could even put Serrano up front if we get a right winger, but I don't think we need both. There's an 18-year-old at Ayr who can't finish, so that's him out of the question. Ian, loving the head coach save. Keep it up. Thank you for the kind words. It really is appreciated. It has been very unique this year, I've got to say. Building up in Scotland and now getting our chance down south. But it's been great. I've picked up Scottish followers and subscribers that I never would have met before, and we've ended up having a good laugh. So, and I've grown even more of an affinity for Scottish football. So it's brilliant to have. So thank you for the support. Thank you for the kind words. And thank you to everyone for popping in as always. Let's have a look at what else is being recommended. A young striker but wants 30 grand a week. It's too much. A 31-year-old striker who's out of contract soon, but he's on massive money. We can't afford that. Dennis Dragas. He's on 70 grand a week, but we had him obviously in the head coach at Southampton briefly. We'll have a look for a striker, but I'm not that worried about it. Let's have a look for attacking midfielders. I don't think we need any of them, to be honest. We'll see who's recommended. No one above 3-star or very old on big money. So we don't need any of them. And then right winger. So I think it's right winger or striker rather than both. That one's not good enough. There's a youngster at Bordeaux who's interested. He's not the finished article yet. He's not ready for the first team. Patrick Roberts, short contract, but on 35 grand a week. It doesn't make sense. And Diakabi at Lille. I guess it's good these players are getting suggested, but they're on massive money. I don't know that we can do that. So we'll look for those two positions. If we can get one of them in, great. And Serrano can play in whichever one we don't cover. There's an 18-year-old winger there, Martinez. Oh! Not got acceleration, which is weird, but the rest of his game looks absolutely lovely. So let's go and scout that guy. Don't know why we couldn't do it from that screen, but there we go. Aaron Ramsey on 66 grand a week. Manningham from Arsenal, not good enough at the moment. Jada Silva at Villa on big money, but we'll have a look. A 16-year-old at Walsall. 1.5 ability, 5-star potential. He looks like a really good youngster. It's a strange one that he's there. Lloyd Kelly, again, big money. Is that the thing next summer? Do we have to accept that we're going to have to pay massive money in terms of wages for whoever we want to bring in? That's perhaps the sacrifice. Whoppers, my current save is one of the weirdest I've had so far. I'm in a winter of 22-23. Arsenal at 18th and Kosovo have made the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Wow. That is an interesting one. It sort of reminds me of the beta series that I did with Wigan. I know it didn't affect us. Obviously, we got the Tycoon takeover. It worked a treat. But Tottenham Hotspur went down, bottom of the league, didn't win the first 26 games. Sacked Mourinho for Michael O'Neill, who still didn't win any games. It was astonishing. I've still got that save. I've played about 3/4 of the season with Spurs. It was something I always wanted to do, but it's just the time with the other stuff. But I should have kept it really and done it as the live stream on Twitch because I think it would have been a laugh. But either way, there are some strange things that happen in FM this year. More so than often, I would say. But I guess pandemic year, it is replicated in real life. There's a lot of bizarre things going on. Thank you to everyone supporting as always. Please chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. Thank you for popping in. There was an episode out of our Bangor City series today. It was a final episode of the season. And it was a bizarre one in our Builder Nation. For the first time in years, another club has taken a title race to the wire. And we're fighting to get the domestic trophies wrapped up. So it's an interesting stage, that save. I'm intrigued to see what happens the next couple of years. And see how it contrasts from the experiment, which we've obviously been doing the last few Sundays. Final one of that will be this week. Let's have a look at how our loanees are getting on. So Fotheringham's gone to Hibs in the top tier. It's really helping him. He's improving. He's playing football. He's scoring goals. Adriel at Birmingham. Played a few championship games, but not improving due to his personality. Tyler Wolf at Hull, no change. And Jack Newman at St Mirren doing well. It looks like we're going to have big money from the retirement leagues in China and the MLS for Matt O'Reilly. But otherwise, good start to the episode and a big game to come against Hamilton. Now, although they're not as good a side, they've got that really threatening front too. Winter is a big one. Martin is a big one. Yeah, I agree, Wapos. It's a good thing, definitely. Because those first years are unpredictable. I mean, this year we've obviously seen in real life pandemic year. Have a look at the Premier League table. Look at League One and League Two in England are remarkable. And some of the Scottish and Northern Irish stuff's been all over the place. And when we get to Winter World Cup year, if it still works out that way, that'll be the same. Because all the fixtures are squeezed into 2 less months. I know it's a slightly earlier start and later finish, but it's still going to lead to some bizarre results. We've got Dundee United against Hamilton. Let's see how it goes. We have got to make changes, I think. There's some heavy match loads. I'm tempted to get through this one. Rest them for Motherwell, because Lazio 3 days after that, we're going to need them. It's gone back to 4-4-2 as well. Why does it keep doing that? I've picked this other one as my primary default tactic. See, you can see that. It's the primary train tactic, but it just keeps going back to the other ones. So up front, Shankland will go up there again. We'll switch those back to where they were. I think aside from that, we're at full strength. Mitchell can come back in for Shankland. We can have Kieran Law back in for Stevie Mallon. And McCrory back in for McCann. Everyone else is fit. The match condition's fine. And we'll rest them all on Saturday. I think that's all we can do. And if we have to sacrifice the Motherwell game a bit, then so be it. So Shankland onto the bench. Mallon onto the bench. And who's going to be the other one? I think it's going to be Dehaney who drops out for Ali McCann. There's the 11. There's the 18. We're back to full strength. It competed against Barcelona. Can it compete against Hamilton Academical? That's the big question. Thank you for all the support as always. It's lovely to have so many of you along. We are in double figures now, so thank you for the support. Please chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. We're getting close to double figures there too. And come and get involved in the chat if you haven't already. A quick reminder, there will be a bonus live stream with Ballymena on Twitch tomorrow evening. So please do come and join in for that one. It's always been good fun over there, and we had a record stream on Sunday, which was amazing. So let's get into the first half. Hamilton, I'm sure we'll have all their star strikers out. Let's have a look at their formation. So, yeah, it's Martin and Winter up front. It's going to be difficult. 10 minutes gone, they've had the first shot of the match. The narrow diamonds caused us trouble in this save. And Hamilton have often been a bogey side. We saw that League Cup final last year, didn't we? Rangers ahead, Celtic ahead. Brookings got a knock. Not the best start. And Kelly's got it in goal for Hamilton. Long ball forward. Jasimovic heads away to Mokri, to Lord. Switches right to Serrano, who's now got an injury as well. He finds Brooking on the overlap. Gets towards the byline. Cuts it across. O'Reilly's in. That man has found form. Let's get Sterling on for the injured Serrano. And fingers crossed, we'll be able to keep Brooking fit just till half time. His injury's a tight calf, so I don't want to leave him too long. But I feel we can get a few more minutes out of it if we're lucky. As long as we win the game, hopefully no harm, no foul. As they get down the left, Hamilton, we've nicked it high again with McCrory. But we're not really going anywhere there. It's long over the top. Brooking brings it down. Don't do something silly. Don't show signs of the injury. 1-2 with McCrory. Out to Dujon Sterling. Cuts in from the right. He's got 2 or 3 in the middle. Switches to Mokri. Not had the best spell, but he's coming forward with it now. Gets down the left wing. He's got a fullback in support. Goes back to Lord instead. To Ramos. Into McCrory. O'Reilly's in that gap again. Sterling switches left. Hakima Doffin heads away. Hero for Dundee in the head coach across the city from here. And McCrory picks it up again. It's been a very long highlight. It's got to lead to something. Brook into Sterling. Just charging down the right. We've got him as a traditional winger. Gets it into Scott Mitchell. And he continues his one a game in the Scottish Premiership. Absolutely brilliant. Has Matt O'Reilly got Danish citizenship? Yes, I think he's an international here. Let's have a look. Yeah, 6 caps he's got. So he's an international at the start of the game, I think. Or qualifies as an international. But yeah, he's a Danish senior international here. He's absolutely flying for them and he's flying for us. So he's really become a good player after the first couple of really inconsistent years. Always trained well, didn't play well. I'm hoping the same will happen with some of the others now. As McCrory gets it 35 yards out to Lord, to Ramos. If we can get a third, we can almost think about resting players at the hour mark. Into Sterling. Oh, fantastic. What a performance, boys. Very well done so far. Now be professional and get the job done. It was one of the things when I first found it out, Oliver, that surprised me about Matt O'Reilly. I've known it in FM for a couple of years now, but when he first burst on the scene at Fulham, it was a surprise to me. Obviously, he's doing well now as we go 4 up with Ramos. But he's doing really well at Milton Keynes Dons in real life. And once I'm able to go back to football, that's one of my more local ones. So I'll probably end up seeing a few games. But at half-time, Brookings still got the injury warnings. I think we've got to take him off. The other one I will rest is probably Mengi as well. So, who do I take off out of the 2? It's a good test, isn't it? I'm going to put Kerr on for Mengi. I'm going to put right wing Johnston on for Brooking. And Sterling will go back to right back. I think that covers everything as fairly as possible. I know it's all 3 subs made at half time, but it's 4-0, it's comfortable, and we're resting some of the key players. So let's hope that that won't end up throwing any of the game away. Thank you to everyone who's here as always. It does make a big difference, It's greatly appreciated. Thank you for your continued support here and on Twitch. And thank you for supporting all the new videos as well, including the experiment. As Winter gets in and hits the post, that's the problem when you change half the back 4. You do leave yourself a little open at the back. Those little communication lines, the little 5-yard gaps between people start to appear. But I think we're all right at 4. I think we'll get away with it. Having said that, our expected goals is only 1 and a bit, so it's not like we've been fluent or flamboyant. We've just got away with it. O'Reilly's knackered. I'm worried about him for the weekend. We'll have to give him a rest. But can we win a game without him scoring at the minute? As Winter picks it up right-hand side to Hughes. Cuts in again to Martin. They have been better in this second half, Hamilton, but with 15 to go, hopefully 4 is an unassailable lead. as Hunt picks it up. I wouldn't bank on a clean sheet though, as Dundee gets in behind, goes for the shot. Safe pair of hands from Ziga. Holds on to it, which is really crucial, and keeps the score here at 4-0. And the long ball forward's intercepted. Unfortunately, it's just starting to come straight back. They're throwing men forwards, and it's working out for them at the moment. As they get in again, Ziga makes another good save. And we're just living with a little bit of an edge at the moment. We might be in trouble. I don't really want to get into that concede 1 or 2. I want a run of clean sheets. I want a run of comprehensive wins. I want to scare opposition. Force them into more defensive tactics. As Hunt gives it to Hamilton, we've got away with that one. 10 to go. Rangers just beating Falkirk. It's 2-1 on the night. If they drop points there, we'd be level and ahead on goal difference. Albeit they'd have a game in hand. It looks like Sterling's picked up a knock now as well. It's injuries galore today. And I think, unfortunately, that's probably the longer lasting impact of this game. A 4-0 win, a brilliant result, a good performance, solid professional job. But injuries galore. Celtic snuck past there. Sterling's got a 5 to 6 day injury. Serrano's out 1 to 2 days. Mengi's got a fitness concern. We're in a bit of trouble across the board here. So it'll be a very rotated side against Motherwell on Saturday. We've just got to try and cling on in truth. And then it's the big one against Lazio. Because that's where all the money is this season if we stay in Europe after Christmas. So let's get through the press conference. I think we can just be generally positive. Say it was good, say it was solid. And we're happy enough with that. But interesting to see that we are gradually making it a 3-team league. But until we've got 3 Champions League spaces, this is going to be very difficult. If we have a look at the coefficient now, obviously the likes of Aberdeen competing in the Europa Conference does help. But qualification places wise, we've got to get up to 6th and catch Portugal. Then we get 2 in the group stage and 1 in the league path. I don't know what rounder that is. 3rd qualifier. And that guarantees group stage football in something, doesn't it? So if we can get to the stage where us, Rangers and Celtic can all be in Europe, that would be great. But coefficient wise, it looks good there. If you go in terms of the nation club coefficients, we're miles off. We're 9 points away from Holland and from Portugal. Well, 12 from Portugal and only 8 ahead of Russia. So we're sort of in our own little mini league. Us, Russia, are all in that situation where we can't go above anyone, can't go below. Thank you to everyone for the support as always as well. Greatly appreciated as always. Motherwell are next up. They've dipped into the bottom half, but they're a good side. And with a rotated team, going to be easier said than done to beat them. But the big one's Lazio. If we win that game, the season is still intact. So let's see what we can do. They're recommending a lot of changes moving forward. Luca Cannell will definitely start because he can't play in a midweek match. Otherwise, we've got to think a little bit more. We've got to be a little bit more, probably cautious in terms of our selection and fitness because any risk, any injury puts us in a bit of a trouble. So fingers crossed we'll avoid it. Let's get through this. Is that another injury? Ross McCrory, out for 2 to 3 days. We'll send him home so he doesn't infect anyone. He gets the weekend off. He wasn't going to play anyway. And he'll be back for Tuesday night. The big one at Tannadice. 4 home games in a row, though, should make a difference. And it's match day. How many of the 11 are going to play? Bar Ziga, I'd imagine probably none. And we might not even play him. But if we get 2 more wins this evening, this will be a perfect performance. So let's go and have a look. Top billing is Dundee United v Motherwell. Neither of the old firm in action today. Sterling's not fit. Serrano's not fit. And McCrory's obviously at home. So we're missing a fair few bodies in this one. I'd imagine O'Reilly is nowhere near. He is fully fit there. So we might chuck him on the bench just in case. But let's get through it. We've got Ziga in goal. The back 4. I know it's still a good one. But the Haney at right back. The left back is Devine. And the centre halves will be Kerr and Finley. And most of those were first choice at a point last season. In midfield, we're going to go for McCann, for Cannell. And who's the number 10? I think it's going to have to be Shankland. Holsgrove, sorry. Stevie Mallon, do I play him? I think we do. Let's play him because Ali McCann plays a lot of international football. So we can leave him on the bench. McCann and Cannell there. The wingers will be Johnston off the left. Off the right, it would have been Sterling. Probably going to have to be Watson now. I don't think any of those midfielders can play off the wing, unfortunately. Can Holsgrove play out there? He can, not really. And then up front will be Shankland. And then the super subs, if needed, are Mitchell, are O'Reilly. Are there any others who can do something special for us? We've got McCann there, obviously. We'll put Ray Milligan on there. We'll put Donaldson on there. And then defensively, we'll have Stephen Dunn as the youngster, Nielsen as the youngster. Job done. Let's go and get into it. It's a big risk against Motherwell, but the Lazio game is everything for the rest of the season. The money, the European continuing after Christmas is all about the Lazio match. So for now, we have to gamble with this lineup. Let's see how it gets on. Dundee United, Motherwell. Fingers crossed a positive result. At least a win. Doesn't really matter how it comes. We change Watson to a standard winger on support. It's the back three, which does cause us trouble occasionally. And Finley's picking up a short free kick from in his own half, as Cannell gets it out to Shankland. Holds it up for Johnston. Left to Devine. There's 2 or 3 making a run into the box. Devine gets towards the byline. Crosses it in. Doesn't beat the first man. Headed away to Mallon. He finds Dehaney to Cannell. Up towards Watson. Keeping it nicely here. Out to Dehaney on the right. 4 in the box this time. Gets it across to Holsgrove. Brilliant start in 10 minutes again. Jordan Holsgrove on fire. And that number 10 role is just working at the minute. The tactics working down to a T. And we're really happy with how things are going. So thank you to everyone coming along and supporting as always. I hope you're enjoying our good run. And you're getting to see a few of the other lads in action today as we rotate the side heavily. Dehaney finds Mallon to Cannell. To Holsgrove. Shankland. Cannell. Watson. It's wonderful football. We're keeping it really well. You wouldn't be able to tell we've made most of the team changes. It's been a really solid performance, and we've got a corner kick now, I think. It's going to be an in-swinging delivery. Mallon will take it. Good set-piece specialist. Up to the back stick. Headed up more than away. And it falls for the edge to Watson. He shoots. It's blocked away. Holsgrove can't quite get there. Kerr wins it back, though, for Cannell. It's an onslaught. Gets the ball in. It's straight at the keeper. Are we going to regret the fact that it's only 1? That's my only slight smidgen of concern at the minute. But fingers crossed that won't be the case. A quick thank you again to Oliver and to 10 times Brandon for the donations at the weekend, both here and on Twitch. They are greatly appreciated. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting all the videos and who's followed over there as well. We're really enjoying making this and the podcast channel at the minute, so I hope you're enjoying it as well. As Johnston cuts in from the left to Holsgrove, back to Cannell, out to Devine, into the byline, headed away by Burgess. Stevie Mallon's there. Loves a long-range strike, but probably a bit too far even for him. Dehaney back to him again though, just looking for that cutting pass. Holsgrove to Cannell, to Johnston, out to the left to Devine. Chance to cross, there's 4 in the middle again, every time. Watson's one of them. And he heads just over the bar on this occasion. It's unfortunate, but we have been really good. And if we can get a second goal, I think this will be game over as well. But to see our backup team doing this shows you just how strong we are. As Watson gets it on the left side again. He goes back to Luca Cannell. Inside to Stevie Mallon. And out to the right to Dehaney. Gets towards the byline. He's going to get the cross in as he chips it to the front post. Watson's there. First one's blocked. Second one's wide. We've missed so many chances. 10 attempts, only 2 on target. And this is where Mitchell and O'Reilly are missed. This is where Serrano and Sterling are missed. The ones who are reliable in front of goal. As the ball goes out to the left, this is where we're in trouble. We've not taken them. And now Motherwell are in for their first chance. O'Hara to Sanders. Chance to cross. Richardson's there. That's the difference with the backup team. We're still playing the same philosophy. We're still dominant. But we get caught napping with the first attack of the match for them. And unfortunately, it's Dundee United 1, Motherwell 1. And that could be 2 crucial points dropped in the grand scheme of things. Fingers crossed we'll bounce back. But at half time, it remains level. It's the only shot they've had. It's so frustrating. We're going to say we're not happy. We might need subs later on. But we're back early in the second half with Dehaney. In towards Holsgrove. Bizarre time to come back as the ball's deflected away from Watson's shot. Stevenson clears long downfield. Richardson's up, scored the first. They're not going to score 2 in 2, are they? We've dominated the shot count and we nearly fall behind. Ziga makes a very good save. I think we need subs. Mallon's not fit. Watson's not good enough. And Shankland hasn't even looked like having a chance. Not even tried to attack the ball. Into the front post. Kerr heads away. Can Holsgrove get there? I want to give it a bit of time to sneak a 2-1 because with Lazio midweek, it's such an important game. It's so crucial that I don't want our lads to be unnecessarily tired. But at the moment, I don't think we've got a choice. I think we've got to get the big guns on. As it's Dehaney on the right wing. Throws into Holsgrove. 1-2 with him. Back to Stevie Mallon. Delivers early. Polworth's up. Doesn't even challenge Shankland. As Richardson picks it again. Goes over to the wings. They've got a 3-on-3. Stevenson's got himself in here. And he's straight at Ziga. A better finish. And we could have been in trouble there. As it is though, we're still surviving at the minute. So there's no need to lose our breath just yet. Oh, until now. Big guns on you come. Because unfortunately, despite dominating, we've wasted 100 chances. And now we're in big, big trouble. Watson on the right wing. I don't even know who I can bring on. So let's get the easy ones done. Shankland for Mitchell. We've got O'Reilly who can come on for Mallon. We'll drop Holsgrove into the middle. And Mallon will be replaced by O'Reilly. Who else do we bring off for on? Watson's the one I want to take off. I'm going to have to bring Donaldson on. I'm going to have to go for 2 standard wingers. Get the ball in the box, deliver it and let us finish it. That's what we're going for. 35 minutes remaining. And the defensive frailties have crept in with a backup side. And more importantly, we are woeful in front of goal. Let's go and berate the lads. Let's hopefully get a response. But I don't know where the goal's coming from. I really think we're in trouble. We're going to go attack him. We'll see what it does. But it's not for the want of lack of chances, is it? It's just because we can't finish. That's been the only problem here. We're playing out from the back yet again. It's a long ball forward. Finley heads it away. O'Hara picks it up for O'Donnell. His tactic does cause us trouble. Where's the defence gone there? That must be offside. It's disallowed. I would have been furious if that one had counted. But it did look it. I think it was the right decision. The assistant referee raises the flag. Richardson unfortunately punished. But with 5 to go, it stays 2-1 to Motherwell. And this is going to be crucial if we want to break the top 2. We've got to pick up wins in games like this. And we don't look like doing it in a million years. The goalkeeper plays out long downfield. Richardson flicks on. Dehaney hoofs clear. O'Reilly picks it up. Can the big boy save us? O'Reilly to Donaldson. Oh, yes! O'Reilly gets the assist. And Callum Donaldson. What a legend. Out of nowhere. Gets us out of jail. And Callum Donaldson makes it 2-2. 3 minutes of stoppage time to go. Can we nick a late winner? Devine heads it downfield. Donaldson will chase. Campbell gets there first and goes back to the keeper. Out to Burgess, to McGuinness, chips forward. Richardson's there. I mean, that front three has caused us problems all day. Doesn't matter what players it is. It's just the tactic. And they might nick it now into Stevenson. Oh, we can't defend a result for 1 minute. We're back to crisis Dundee United now. This is the one we used to have mid-season 2 years ago. Jacob, you've nailed it. You can't win, you always bottle it. And we can't even get a draw. Just as we were knocking on the door of the old firm, you've timed it perfectly. And unfortunately, we fall behind. But don't forget, we rested the whole team for this because of the midweek game. And if we beat Lazio, it will all be worth it because we'll be in Europe after Christmas. And fingers crossed we'll be able to do it. Heartbreak away at the Nou Camp, 2 brilliant results. But the backup team, defensively, just not good enough. And unfortunately, it's cost us a chance of catching a top 2. So we could be in a spot of bother again. Jacob, thank you for popping in as well. Sorry, I didn't say welcome along to one of the regulars. Please do come and get involved in the chat if you haven't already. Chuck a thumbs up on the video as we close in on double figures. And hopefully you're enjoying the stream. We will be live on Twitch tomorrow night at 5:30 with Ballymena United. We won't have a live stream here on Saturday with Dundee United. We will have a video at the same time in its place doing something completely different. And fingers crossed we can come out on top because this is going to be massive. Lazio are the opponents. We have to win because they're level on points with a better head-to-head record. And if we win by 1, Jacob, you can't beat Motherwell yet you think you can beat Lazio. We only lost 2-1 to Barcelona with a first team. And we won 4-0 against Aberdeen. So it's the backup team that lost to Motherwell. It was a calculated gamble. But if we win by 1 and they get an away goal, we also lose as well. So it's not just as simple as beating Lazio. We have to win by 2. So let's have a look at the lineup. We're going to put Watson, Donaldson and Nielsen. All 5 of those can play in a reserve game. Are there any others that won't be involved? I don't think so out of that. Most of those are ones we need for the first team in the midweek. It's Rangers v Celtic again. Was that a cup game? Was it a League Cup final maybe? It is. The League Cup final. Celtic win the first trophy of the season. Catrone with a late goal there. Jusimovic recommended a Serbia call. Lazio have got a very good side. They've got a pacey side. They've got a quality side. But we did play better than them in the first game. We just couldn't finish. It's becoming the story of the season, isn't it? Let's go and get through the press conference. The final game of the evening. And we need a big one. We need a big performance. We've rested all of the first team. And now we need them at their best. So touch wood, that's what's going to follow. Certainly a way to end, isn't it? The final Champions League group stage game. Xander Clark out with a knock. Hero from St Johnstone in real life at the weekend. Now let's go and get into the final game of this live stream. And it is a massive one. Lazio the tie could go very, very wrong. Let's get through some of these. Scout reports don't look great. No one really of a better quality. And even those that aren't and that are the same standard want massive wages. We're in that little bit of a dilemma now that until the reputation goes up and until the league reputation improves, we just can't get a better squad in. But here we go. Dundee United versus Lazio. Jacob, I regret installing Score Hero 2. Goalkeeper is better than Prime De Gea, Neuer and Ben ter Stegen put together. You do get that with some video games where the keepers are either awful or brilliant. I can't remember which Pro Evolution it was. I think it was 15 and 16. Where one of them, I think it was 15, the keepers were like really solid. And then 16, because people complained it was too hard to score. Even though it wasn't, it was fine. Then they made them so easy. And they were diving over everything. They were all over the shop. But let's see what lineup they've gone for today. I think, looking at it, that's pretty much our first team. Albeit in slightly different positions, which we've corrected. Clark can't be on the bench because he's not fit. Sterling is. Mallon has to be in there. He'll replace Devine. And Johnston. Who does he go in for? Maybe it is Dehaney. I think it probably is. So that's the squad for today. I mean, most of them have still got a heavy match load, remarkably. We'll rest everyone against Kilmarnock again with Celtic coming up in a week. But this is the final game of the live stream. We lost 1-0 to Lazio in the first Champions League game. So we have to win this by 2 to beat the head-to-head record. If it's 1-0, that's the only score I'm not sure about, we will have the better goal difference. So 1-0 takes us through. If it's a scoring game for Lazio, then we have to win by 2. Fingers crossed, though. We'll just have a lovely day at the office and we won't have to worry about any of that. Jacob, ball top corner and the keeper turns 180 degrees and keeps it out. It does frustrate me when the keepers are unplayable in games and when they're awful. But it is the hardest thing to get realistic. People complain about the FM ones because the saves don't look great. But at least for the most part, they are sensible. It's the one thing I will say. Into the first half we go. We're going to try and take it to them. Let's see if we can do it. 5 minutes gone. First shot on target to Dundee United. No highlight seen. As Brookings got a throw on the right to O'Reilly. He's the goal machine. We need him in the box. Serrano loses out in the air. It falls for Lord 30 yards out. He gets it to Ramos. Interesting tackle. And probably not the best pass to him in fairness. Jusimovic to Lord. Jusimovic again to Ramos. Keeping it nicely. Ramos switches the plate. Serrano can't get there. It's under hit. And now Origi's coming forward. Just checking Serrano was in his preferred role, which he is. Marusic down the left. This is what happened against them in the away game. We dominated the match, didn't score. Then they came forward and nicked one on the counter. Acerbi into Luis Alberto. Wide to Dan James, the right winger. The Welsh international gets to the byline. Cuts back inside. Crosses for Divock Origi. And he heads over the bar. But that just tells you the quality they've got. It is going to be a very difficult finish. But touch wood, it won't last for too much longer. And we'll be able to get a goal at least. But again, you can see we've dominated possession. We've dominated the stats. The only chance we've seen is Lazio's one though. So it doesn't suggest we're going to score. We've got to get the goal. A 1-0 win or a win by 2. And it looks like we're not going to keep a clean sheet. And if that happens, we're going to need to score at least 3. And I don't see in a million years how we achieve that. O'Reilly's gone quiet today. Mitchell's gone quiet too. It's not been a good performance so far. Certainly not looked threatening enough. As Ramos throws into Lord's, giving it away again. How many times are these boys going to give away silly possession? James gets there. We're going to demand more after this as Josimovic tries to bring him down. James has done a lot of them. Ziga makes a fantastic save. We demand more. There's 5 minutes to the break. And Lazio now even coming back into it in chances. And we're gifting them to them on a plate. We're just giving them the ball in our own half. I'm going to tell the lads to keep it up. We're going to get into the second period. It's 45 minutes to save it. 1-0 does it though. And that's the only thing I'm clinging on to. It's the most unlikely result I would suspect. We've given it away again in our own box. Brooking does recover this time. It's out to Serrano. He's got Brooking overlapping. Tries to beat the fullback. Cuts it inside. Serrano's got 2 up with him. Can he find O'Reilly? He does. There's Mockery. Through to Mitchell. It's fallen for him on a plate. He's hit the side netting. To not even make the keeper work from there is absolutely criminal. Oh, what's happened, Mitchell? And now they've got a set piece. This is where it all went wrong last time. Back to Dan James. He has hit on the half volley. He has smashed the crossbar, or the post, sorry, from 30 yards. It deserved a goal, that strike, in truth. With an hour gone, though, it's just hanging on a knife edge, isn't it? And at 0-0, they still look the more likely to score. I'm still not confident we get a clean sheet. Lazari back to Lucas Leiva, who's still going in the 4th, 5th season. James up to Makiri. He's got to be about 38 now, hasn't he? Correa gets it wide. Sergei's there. Back into Acerbi, the centre-half. He chips right to Dan James, who skinned the fullback. His pace is blistering. He's absolutely ruined us. Into Alberto. Offside, is he? No. There's the goal. So now we've got to score 3. And that's not going to happen, isn't it? We're going to finish bottom of the group. We're going to be out of Europe after Christmas. Yeah, I saw that, Jacob. Bayern going big for Nagelsmann. But, you know, it puts money into the Bundesliga. The other clubs improve. I'd rather that than a Super League model, let's be honest. So, let's get the changes on. Mockery's been poor. Sterling for him. We'll take off McCrory, who's had an average game for Stevie Malin, just because he's got a thunderbolt in him. Might be able to help out at some point. And Brooking's tired, so what do we do there? I don't know. I'm out of options. I'm a little bit deflated after that. So maybe we take out Lord for McCann. Get the old guard on from last year. We're going to go winger on support for Sterling. Winger on support for Serrano. And we've got 29 minutes to score 3 goals. Because, unfortunately, Luis Alberto's beat the offside trap. And we've given away a stupid goal. We're going to tell the lads to do as well as they can. I think it's only fair that we berate them. Because they've not been good enough, really. They've not looked like scoring. Yes, the expected goal's 1.5. You could argue that they've missed out there. But it is what it is. We're going out of Europe. The gamble didn't pay off. So now we've lost the ground for the top 2 for the Champions League next year. And we've also basically thrown ourselves out of Europe before Christmas. The money's nice, the coefficient not so much. And it won't help us in the January window because we won't be a Champions League or even a Europa League club. Thank you to everyone coming along as well for the support as always as we do fall to a 1-0 defeat. We will have a live stream on Twitch tomorrow with Ballymena United at 5:30. We won't have a stream here on Saturday due to birthdays and things around this weekend. So there will be a video instead at 10:30. Something completely different to what we've ever done on the channel before. I hope it's worked because I've just recorded. And fingers crossed it will be enjoyable. Yeah, Jacob, you're absolutely spot on. More likely to concede 3 than score them. I won't disagree with you there. What a disappointing end. What a disappointing end that is to the group stages. We unfortunately fall out of Europe completely. It's going to knock our coefficient. It's going to knock Scotland's coefficient. And it means we're in a spot of bother. So as we mentioned, there's no live stream on Saturday from this series. We'll be back next Tuesday at 5:30. And in that one, I'm in 2 minds. Because there's only 4 games before the winter break, I'll either come back and show those or I'll get through the whole lot. And try and go on a big run and maybe get to like Rangers at the end of January. Because really, this is a nothing season other than trying to win a cup, which will be the Scottish Cup, and trying to chase the top 2. So the further we can get, the better. I think we'll skip ahead and try and be back about there. As long as we've got enough time to skip through the games off camera. Jacob's spot on. It was what was expected. We can't be too downhearted. But to think we were 1 minute away from clinging on against Barcelona, which would have meant we only needed a draw against Lazio, it would have been a very different match. But for now, we drop out, and unfortunately, this is the position we're in. The focus is domestic for the rest of the year. We have to break the top 2 again this season. It doesn't look likely, but the only other alternative is to win the Scottish Cup. Thank you to everyone for coming along and joining me this evening as always. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you again to Oliver and to 10 times Brandon for the donations over the weekend. And thank you to everyone for being involved in the chat, for having a nice laugh as always. And I'll see you tomorrow night on Twitch with Ballymena United, where the only spoiler I'll give you is they're at risk of the sack. I'll see you there.